There you
All right.
go.
Good afternoon. My name is Janice Vasquez, and I am the sales director at CIS. Joining me is our special guest from the Harvest Group. Also joining me is several of the LCIS team members. Before I turn this over to our
Can't participate. Your mom got a sticker over the camera.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna. Can I ask everybody to mute their phones?
Because look, there's other people who
Yeah, that's true.
I gotta try to mute all. There we go. Sorry, got some static. All right. And I'll unmute
muted.
Bill when we're done
You
here.
gotta mute.
No, now I know.
They're listening.
Should I do this?
Hold on a second. We've got a few more people dialing in. Okay. All right, let me go back into this. Before I turn this over to our special guest, we will have a Q&A, the presentation, and then draw for raffle prizes. You can also type in your questions in the chat.
And then just turn it off.
And we're getting a lot of people. I need everybody to mute their phones, please. I keep muting everybody, but it unmutes it for some reason. Usually I don't have these issues, but if everybody could just keep their phone on mute, I'd appreciate it. We have a chat feature at the bottom. I just ask everybody to save their questions till the end of the presentation. We have a jam-packed session here. There's also a chat feature that I'll read the questions at the end
That's just on yourself.
ever so often. Admit a few more people. And here we go. Sorry about that. Let me tell you a little bit about Bill, presenter today. Bill is a 45-year-old green industry veteran, 2006 National Landscape Leadership Award recipient, and author of the book and recruiting kit, The Harvest Way for Recruiting and Hiring the Right People. Upon graduating from Cal Poly, bachelor's in ornamental horticulture, he joined Valley Crest Companies. During his nearly 30-year career with Valley Crest Companies, Bill worked his way through many field positions as regional VP for Southern California, overseeing a $25 million portfolio with 6 offices, 5 separate service lines, 600 project sites, and over 900 employees. Bill has worked with some of the most prestigious projects nationally, locally in Southern California, including 9 Ritz-Carlton locations nationwide, and has been part of many other well-known landscape projects. While at Valley Crest, Bill also spent 2 years as the VP of Human Resources, serving as the primary architect for the development and implementation of the National Training Program, Performance Management System, and the recruiting program for over 10,000 employees. In 2007, Bill co-founded a national landscape business and consulting firm called the Harvest Group, where he serves as the head harvester. The Harvest Group serves clients in 45 states and 8 countries, ranging in size from 100,000 to 50 million in annual revenue. Head harvester Bill now lives his true life purpose and a passion in harvesting the potential of organizations and individuals throughout the Western United States. The Harvest Group is the solution to your company's pains. If you're wanting to grow your business, run more efficiently, looking to hire the right people, wanting to buy another landscape business, or selling your company, Bill and his company can assist and provide the aspirin for those pains. With further ado, I will turn the presentation over to the head harvester. Bill, it's all yours. I'm going to unmute you. Hold on a second. Unmute you.
Can you copy me okay?
You're all set.
Thanks for that intro. Gosh, folks, when you write your own intro, it sounds pretty interesting. I'm not sure if I bored you guys to death. And secondly, thank you for acknowledging that I'm 45 years old, because I passed that a few years ago. So like a 50-year career. So, but thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I look a little older than 45, perhaps, maybe. So,
maybe I misread your intro.
yeah, no worries. I like it. That was a pretty good addition. So thank you for joining us here, folks. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most important topics in the business that we're doing, virtually every business. You know, we also say, hey, look, maybe we're not in the landscape business. We're really in the people business. So today's focus is going to be on retaining your key employees. We don't necessarily want to retain everybody, but we want to definitely retain the good ones, right? Whoops. Okay. So there I am. How about that? Hey, you know what? Before I get started, I want to thank the Landscape Contractors Insurance Services, LCIS. They've been a partner of ours for 7 years. Very loyal partner, probably our longest term partner, tenured partner. And, part of being a gold member, you get access to our Harvest Way Academy. I certainly would highly recommend, that's consultant speak, but you really should do it. Get in that Harvest Way Academy. We spent 5 years building that, over 100 years of experience. So it should come in handy for you. So today here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna review 10 best practices that's gonna help you not only keep your keepers, but most of these best practices can be used for recruiting practices as well. So the main theme here is don't start your recruiting program until you have a good retention program in place. In other words, shut the back door, would you please? We want to shut that back door. It's just like keeping your contracts. If you're losing more contracts and you're running out and replacing those, and you haven't resolved the reason why you're losing them, it's a revolving door. It's a vortex that is not a pleasant place to be. Now, I know many of you probably haven't experienced this at all, right? You probably read about it in some magazine, but for those that you have, you know what I'm talking about. So here's my goals for today. First, some affirmation. It's always good to go to a conference or share ideas with other people that affirm what you're doing now. That's a good thing to do. So click those off. Hey, we're doing that. We're doing pretty good, right? And then the other thing, this is your assignment. So listen carefully. Your assignment today is to come out here with one, and your overachievers, maybe as many as 3 new ideas that you're going to implement at your organization. You already understand the importance of people, or you wouldn't be listening to us today. And then the goal, ultimately, you need to measure. I love measuring things. I'm a goal maniac. I love to measure. So one metric that we use is retention of key people. Identify those key people and what percentage do you retain them? So I want to share with you what we call the big 4. These are 4 fundamental basics that all organizations need to be good at. You could be good at 1 or 2 of these and last for a few years, maybe even 3 of these last for decades. But to have really continued, sustained success, you need to be good at all 4 of these. You need to be able to find, attract, get on board, keep, and grow the right people. Those right people have to deliver consistently your services, your product, whatever your business is involved with. So if you have happy, safe, productive, positive, professional people delivering what they do consistently and passionately, guess what? You're going to find, attract, and the great customer base that you're going to need to generate the next revenue to keep everything going. And as much fun as we do with all these first 3, we're here to make some money, right? Let's make a profit while we're doing it. So very simple. I like mathematics too. So a very simple formula would be people plus performance plus people equals profit. It's just that simple. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So we'll be working on that very first one. We're going to give you some tips on how to keep and grow people. So here's the reality. Whether you know it or not, there's one out of 5 employees right now are interviewing with other companies. They're looking for other jobs, other opportunities. That's reality. Some of your good ones are getting plucked off, and you probably need to do some remedies to make sure that doesn't happen in the future. Dealing with non-performers. We're so desperate to hire people. We're keeping people that we probably shouldn't be keeping. We're preventing them from being successful somewhere else, is what we say back at the Harvesters. And then it's hard to find good people. So that's the reality that we're dealing with. As we said, the key metric to measure your success or retention is really identify your key people right now you have on board. We used to play a game called Sink Your Ship. I know it sounds maybe a little silly, but the question would be, how many people if I was Darth Vader of the recruiting world and I was taking people away from you, how many would it take for me to sink your ship? Just think about it. Think of your best players on your team right now. And if I were to take 1, 2, and if I start counting like this, most people in a crowd, right around when I get to 3 to 5, most people raise their hand, their ship is sunk. So make sure you're doing what's necessary to keep them on board. So that's what we'll be talking about today. Great author, teacher, scholar, great Peter Drucker. What gets measured gets managed. What gets managed gets improved. So make sure you measure the right metrics at your organization. So here we go. Everybody ready? If you have some notes, you can take some notes. This is being recorded, so you can go back and refer to it. So we're going to talk about 10 ways. Now listen, this whole piece right here is a retention piece. It's step number 1 in our recruiting seminar that we just did this month. And that was a 4-hour seminar. So this is step 1 of 10 steps. And there's 10 steps within this first step. How about that, huh? 10 times 10 is a lot, right, Janice? So let's go after culture. Your culture is one of the best retention tools, and plus it's one of the best recruiting tools. So take a good look at your culture. It's proven, and studies would show companies that have a real positive, excellent culture that's energetic, professional, tell it like it is, all those kind of great things, are more productive, better performing than companies that just don't have very remarkable cultures. That's a proven fact. So your culture has a big influence on the success of your business. It really, you really talk about culture. It's how we deal with each other, both in good and bad times. I know it sounds a little weird, but I kind of like a little adversity now and then. I can really find out who is who, how we treat each other when we have challenges out there. And there's plenty of them to be had right now, aren't there? So you can take a good look at yourself when good conditions and not such good conditions. People are dealt with fairly, respectfully, consistently, and timely. It's a positive work environment. It's not this negativity and, oh, woe's me and that client is terrible. They're just making a mess out of my life. Wow. Whining in there, out there, right? You want to be positive. It's really considered the personality of your organization. So let's talk about some of the things that you should do about your culture. You should know what your why is. I don't know if anybody's looked at the TED Talk with Seneca, to know your why. It's a great TED Talk. Look it up. It's one of the top TED Talks in the history of TED Talks. And he really talks about your why. What's your purpose? What is it? Why are you here? What are you doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? And it really gives, I consider your battle cry, kind of your mantra. It gives a unified purpose. When you have unification, you have alignment. When you have alignment, you have consistent performance. You should have clear definition of your vision, mission, your core values. Even I like to identify success behaviors as well within the organization, what we expect. And this relates to everybody in your organization, from top to bottom and bottom to top. So it's not the workforce, it's you, the leaders as well. Culture, people are aligned. When you have a positive culture, it's going the same direction. There's buy-in, as I said, top to bottom and bottom to top. And leaders lead by example. That's a very critical point. Leaders serve with integrity, humility. Humility is the derivative of the word of humus and humor, of the earth, and being able to laugh at yourself sometimes. I know I'm pretty funny when I look at myself sometimes when I do. And generosity, not so much in money, but in your time. Where is your time being spent? Because time's a very, very valuable asset. And where you spend your time is amazingly important. And people are watching you every day and seeing where you as a leader are spending your time. So ask yourself, do you have culture? Do you have your vision well spelled out, mission, core values? All these things should be clearly spelled out, part of your onboarding process. It should be part of your mantra. It should be I've seen them prominently displayed on plaques, handbooks, banners, trifolds. We have little credo cards people have in English and in Spanish. Should be part of your performance review. So it's pretty important to get culture. If you have all these in place and you go in that sequence, our vision is to move forward. At Valley Crest was to be the premier landscape company in the United States. That was our vision, period. So you move through these left to right, not right to left. And it drives the right actions, and you do the right actions enough time, you'll get the right results. So have the right results very spelled out as well. What you expect of each and every person. Live these from top to bottom, and root out the non-believers and non-performers. If they're not part of it and they're not buying into it, they're not feeling it, even if they're top performers and they're not behaving in the right manner that's expected of a leader or a person or even an employee, a team member, they need to probably be successful somewhere else, because that can really cause some angst within the organization. Hire the right people to begin with. Have a selection criteria, what we must have and you would like to have in each position you're interviewing for. I like, today from a recruiting standpoint, a lot of people are now finding that, maybe hiring landscape people, landscape experience, maybe not the best answer. They come in with bad habits. Maybe they learned different things. Open your thinking and your strategies for people that are outside of our industry. I really look for humble, hungry, and smart people. That's what I like on my team. I want them to humble. I want them to have some burn in the belly there. I want them to be smart, quick learners. I love quick learners. Quite frankly, folks, our business, the technical part isn't that hard to learn. It really isn't. I know that might offend a few of you. Maybe some of the higher skill pieces, yeah, masonry and some of the, maybe tree trimming and some of those higher skill things. But basically, most of these can be trained. People can learn these. Hire people with shared values, pretty important. Once again, you don't expect to keep everybody employed all the time. There are people there that really should be working, maybe for your competitors. How about that? You should here's a tip, conduct alignment checkups. We suggest you do employee surveys at least annually with all employees. We'd like to make certain that there's clear expectations. People understand what it is expected of them. Practice these C's. I love C's. I like a lot of alliterations and all stuff. So communicate, coordinate, cooperate, collaborate, celebrate, right? Versus complain, criticize, condemn, consternate, constipate, right? So focus on those positive things. You just keep on collaborating, and I like to celebrate. Those people that know me, they know I like to celebrate too. Celebrate your little victories, even small ones. I used to celebrate all my trucks got home every night and everybody showed up and nobody got injured. That's a pretty good day. Let me tell you, I love it. Celebrate victories, have some fun. Some of the things we recommend, we had truck wash barbecues on a quarterly basis. The guys come in, wash their trucks, get it all cleaned up, while the leadership would be doing the barbecuing and serving the people that serve us, right? And then we'd have awards banquets. I mean, for safety, we recognize safety is really one of the critical issues of a successful organization. The quality, we have a quality counts program that we like to use that measures quality. Then we have some raffles, maybe the best looking truck at the end of a little competition, the top 3 best looking trucks, whatever. Have a little competition, have some fun. Conduct positive, effective meetings that are positive are more effective. If you're just, ragging on the folks all day long, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you get more bees with honey, as my spouse would say. So focus on the positive. Okay. Simple thing, doesn't cost you a nickel. Know their names and use their names when you direct them. What did Dale Carnegie say? The sweetest sound possibly in people's ears is their name. Use their name when you address them. Try to get spouse involvement, dinners and gatherings, so you get some more communal family feel to the business. Know their family, just some basic stuff. You don't have to get too personal, but just, hey, how's Daisy doing? How's your daughter doing? How's school happening? How's the soccer thing? How's your soccer team doing? Whatever, get engaged. Listen. It's easy to over talk, and we just aren't really. One of the things I need to work on, I always have, is to be a better listener. Understand the need for them to be heard, and more importantly, understood. So seek to understand before trying to be understood. Isn't that a Stephen Covey code? I think one of the 7 habits. So one-on-one sessions, we highly recommend for all new employees. We call it the 10-15 report. Be happy to send you a copy. Just drop Janice a note or myself, and I'll send you a copy of the 10-15 report. All new employees it's 10 minutes. They fill it out, 15 minutes, go over with it in a quiet area, answers 3 questions. How you doing? 1 to 5. What's your mojo? I'm 5, I'm slap happy. I feel so good. I'm so lucky to be here. 4, I'm pretty good. 3, I'm okay. 2, not so good. 1, this place sucks. I've got 1 foot out of here. The second one would be, what have you learned since the last time we met? The third question is, what recommendations do you have for the organization? And then we have a short version. That's the short version. Then we have a longer coaching version. So if you'd like a copy of that, I'd be happy to send that to you. Just drop me a line, or Janice, she'll send it to me. Brown bag sessions, break bread together whenever you can. During the summertime, we go around, maybe have some soda pops or waters and give them to the folks, and just making sure you're visible. Your presence your presence is important. You don't have to say a lot. Just being there shows that you respect them and you're spending your time, your generosity with your time. Maybe even a monthly lunch huddle. Once again, just the status of what's going on. And this is all part of the communication and engagement part of keeping people part of your team. Should be asking, how's it going? What are your goals? What's your game plan? What can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? My job is to help you be successful, taking that position. These are all part of culture. We're spending a lot of time on culture because this is probably one of the biggest pieces of retention and recruiting. So I was sharing with Janice yesterday, the Harvest Group, we've divided all the landscapers in the world into two categories, just two categories, folks. We figured that there's the Raptors and then there's the Labradors. Now, Raptors are more of the construction types. They're very assertive. They go out there and they get things done, kind of like the Marine Corps, take the beachhead, take everything over and make things happen. More of a command and control type of culture. And they get it done. If they get to your party, they're going to probably drink most of your libations or probably make a little bit of mess. And then they go to the next party and eat all your food. The Labradors, on the other hand, are kind of like the maintenance folks, right? Real nice. They're agreeable. They're team, just cuddly. They're kind, and they're going to come to your party. They'll probably use the coasters. They'll probably get up on your couch, hand you the clicker. They won't be rude, and they'll fall asleep, and they'll probably never leave, right? So the Raptors come in and attack because that's the nature. The Labradors, they're long-term, want to be there forever. So you have to understand what kind of culture you have. And sometimes, and quite frankly, at Valley Crest, we had that push and pull. We had the construction side, we had the maintenance side, and there was some little bit of rub, so it was certainly a challenge to say the least, let me tell you. But it worked, let me tell you. It worked out really well. So here's your exercise for culture. If we had a class right now, we take some time out and describe your culture now. Is it positive, not so positive? What 3 words best describe your culture? And what would you like to have more of or less of in your culture? One of the tools that we have is called the culture quiz. And if you'd like to take the culture quiz, just let us know. Drop Janice or myself an email. We'll send you out the culture quiz. You can take the culture quiz and see what areas you're really good at and what areas you can probably do some work on. Number 2. And I'm going to go pretty quick here, folks, because Janice is giving me a deadline. I know you got your lunch and learn here, and we're going to move pretty quick. So that was a big one. We've got 9 more to go. Some are a little long, some are a lot shorter. So hire right to begin with, right? From a retention standpoint, hire the right people to begin with. You won't have much turnover. So we talked about culture. Your culture really does matter. So make sure that you use your culture from a recruiting and retention standpoint, and show them around and have them feel the environment. We can go into a company, our harvesters, within, I'd say 2 to 3 minutes, we can tell if they got a positive or negative culture just by how they keep their shop, their facility, everything else. We'll kind of go through something. Your facility does matter. You want neat, clean operation. You don't want a bunch of trash lying around. Here we've got a little bird bath out in the middle of the lawn, but at least the trucks are lined up nicely and clean. Your facility does matter. How does it entry? What's the restrooms look like? Is it cluttered, messy, dirty? Make sure your facility and your vehicles are looking good, right? Your ad matters. When you're hiring, make sure we like to use some ads that have more personality to them rather than just the vanilla, standard issue. Here's a job description and those kind of things. But your ad does matter. So if you want to look at some examples, I just go on Indeed and look at all different kinds of people, different businesses, and how they form their ad. But you want to put some sizzle instead of just having a vanilla ad. Need all the right tools. Make sure you have your job description, qualifications for each position. You need to have screening and interview questions. You're going to be doing a lot of interviewing. I've interviewed over 5,000 people in my career. And to get to 5,000 interviews, I had to look at over 100,000 resumes. So the ratio of resume to actually getting to an interview, 20 to 1, something like that. It's incredible. But So you need to have good screening questions and good interview questions for each level. You need to be consistent in delivering those. Don't just ask these questions on this person and those questions on that person. Be consistent so you be within compliance. Decide what the personality you want. You want drivers, you want farmers, you want, warriors. What kind of personality you want? Because you get every person that you hire shapes your culture and has an effect on your culture. Check their social media. It's amazing what happens, right? You see a lot of tweets and non-tweets and delete tweets and this and that everywhere today. And it's amazing what you can learn on social media. Are your job applications legal? Do you use a job application? Every employee should fill out a job application. So do you have them? Are you using them? And are they legal? They've changed them quite a bit now. So check with your labor attorney, or you can check with our HR expert, Steve Caesar, and he'll get you square on those. Check references, perform background checks, especially on middle management and above. Compensation competitive. Over the last, 5 years, compensations moved quite a bit, right? Over 30% increase in base salaries and wages. So are you competitive? It used to be that money wasn't a big driver of retention, and now it is. So you're going to have to be competitive. I have no problem paying in the top, maybe third quartile of pay, but I expect a lot out of the employee. So don't think that by paying less, you're going to be making more. Often paying less gives you less productivity and less safe people working for you. So we did a study on all our branches, and it determined that the highest paid personnel in the branches that made the most money. Imagine that. So don't equate low pay with being more profitability. Actually, if you have higher pay, more productive and safe people, you make more money. Have an interview process, have 2 people involved in the interview. On larger, more sophisticated positions, first, second, maybe as many as 3. In today's technology, we've got a lot of stuff like we're doing right now, Zoom, FaceTime, all sorts of great opportunities. You can do that, and that saves a lot of time too, doesn't it? So think about doing some of that. Hire right. Have formal offer letters, even for a worker level. I think you need to at least have a written understanding of what the pay is, what the benefits are, expectations. Have that in writing, because sometimes there's some confusion and misunderstandings that you could avoid by having an offer letter. Know that each and every hire you do, and this is important, affects your culture. So it really does. Hire right, and hire right from the beginning. Hire the right people, teach them to do the right things, have them do the right things right, treat them right, and you'll get the right results. How about that, right? And everybody said, right, Harvester Bill, but you're all on mute. So here's another one I like. And quite frankly, I haven't seen a lot of good ones of these, other than these people cruising around their little paddle boards, but they're stand-up paddle here. But onboarding, that's pretty important. That first part of a person's career, when they come on board, it's important to have a positive impact. This influences their reasons. They'll make their decision whether to stay or flee pretty quickly if it's a bad onboarding process, right? So that's pretty important to look at how do you onboard your people. You want to establish relationships. You want them to know the informal parts of the culture, the formal parts. You want to know what the expectations that you're going to expect of them. Make sure they understand clearly what you're going to expect of them. And then you certainly have all the compliance issues and areas and regulations, especially in the state of California, as you all well know, right? The goals really from an onboarding, I'd say, if it didn't do anything on onboarding, is emphasize safety. It's just no reason for someone to get injured from a lack of good onboarding and training, initial training, and some of the fundamentals. Don't put somebody in a position of failure just because you're working fast and you're on a schedule and everything's going crazy. But man, that safety thing is absolutely crazy important. As you all well know, the effect on your worker comp, if that jumps up so high, then you've got to dial that into your cost and become less competitive. It can affect your entire business. So think about, I'm not saying anything you guys don't already know, right? Making sure that you're in compliance, make sure that they join the team. You know, that first day, that first week, you want them to go home and say, man, I picked the right company. How lucky am I? I should have joined them a long time ago. So it's a lot about feeling what they feel about the company as a result of your onboarding process. So let's talk about some of the foundation of onboarding. So have a checklist and be consistent in it. We're going to do this, this, this. We're going to introduce them to this person, this person, this person. We're going to show them the do's and don'ts, where to park, where don't to park. Here's the restroom. Here's the time cards. Make sure you have a checklist and it's consistently applied for everybody. Pick the right people to be involved in this. This maybe your HR people or person that's designated HR person, or some good, solid ambassador for the organization. I went through the Ritz-Carlton orientation program. They do a 3-dayer for all employees. I went through the first day of that for all vendors. And I tell you, they had the general manager come down there. They had all the leadership people there involved. It was incredible. So choose the right people if you can as the owner. Maybe a video at the very minimum, welcoming them. Maybe some videos of some of the team members, encourage the people. Hey, welcome aboard. I know you're a little bit nervous, but it's going to be okay. You know, have some involvement and have the right people involved. Decide when to conduct it. This is hard because you're going to have one person join on this week and another person join next week. And do you do it that week, that day? Do you do it Saturday? You know, you just have to figure out what's best for you and your system. But that is certainly a challenge. I don't necessarily have the right answer, but you need to know when and how and where, who's going to be doing that. 3 key areas. The foundation part, we talked about the safety and some of the basics. You want them to be field ready, not necessarily riding the big lawnmower or operating a tractor out of the gates, but just maybe some field fundamentals. And then we talked about that feel good part of the orientation or onboarding program. Excuse me. So before a team member starts, verify that you have the tools ready for them. They have their PPEs ready. This is probably one of the #1 violations that OSHA is going to look for you. If they stop you and say hi, they're going to look for your PPEs. That's probably the top violation, or one of them at least. Have their uniforms ready. No, we'll get the uniforms when, you know, we're really sure he or she's going to be the real person. Have them ready to go. If they're a salesperson, have their vehicles ready to go. Have it detailed, have it ready to go. Onboarding agenda, and the process is ready. People, not surprised that person starting. Oh, hi, Miguel. How are you? Who are you again? I'm the new guy. Oh, didn't know you're going to show up. You know, communicate that you have a new person. Make them feel welcome and special. And have the presenter, whoever's going to do that, ready and scheduled out. I'm getting so excited. Janice, I get so excited when I start talking like this. Wow. All right. Day 1 basics, you have all the administrative, you need to fill out all the paperwork, right? You got to do all that kind of fun stuff. And there's a lot of it in today's world. Warm them up, have a warm greeting, know their name, maybe take a photo of it. And here's our new team member, you know, Janice Vasquez, you know, and here she is, and here's where she's from, and blah, blah, blah. You know, have a little basics around them. Welcome aboard, Janice, you know. Give them a tour, do the introductions. This is really important. They're a team member. Every person of your team is important in their role to have you and your organization be successful. Treat them accordingly, right? Have them learn the do's and don'ts. We don't swear a lot around here. You know, we know occasionally there might be a little slip here, but it's just not acceptable. We aren't going to be doing that. Choose some other words, would you please? Maybe you don't park here in this area, you park over in this area. You know, or whatever those do's and don'ts are, because sometimes you just don't want them to find out by accident. No pun intended. So all those kind of good things. Just make sure they know the basics. Yard, and we talked about safety. Yard safety, you know, sometimes not such good things happen in the yard. You know, backing up. You know, I do not like backing up in the morning. I like just going forward. Backing up if necessary in the evening, and it's with a spotter behind the person. And I didn't learn that in a book. I had to learn that the hard way in some of our issues that we've had in some of our yards. So yard safety, it starts right out of the yard. Got your Make sure you got your vest on, and everything is, no vehicles are left running unattended. Those basic yard safety areas. Job safety, some of the basics around job safety and vehicle safety. Wear your safety belt. Don't be looking and texting and doing all those fine things, making sure they understand that those are the three, key areas that you want to go over in safety. If there is an injury or potential injury or an incident, how do they report it and make it sure that they know how to do that without any retaliation? They understand the meal periods and the breaks. They know what the time card situation is. Is it on the phone? Is it on the punch-in card? No, let them make sure they understand all that. And if there isn't something that doesn't feel right or look right, it's okay to bring it up. Let them know. If it's something isn't right, let us know. Introduce to a buddy. We like the buddy system. Get them a buddy right at the gate, and that person will help navigate them through. We like having people maybe assign a new person to a designated training crew that trains them originally and certifies them. There's 3 parts of training: orientation to the training process itself, and certification and verification that they've learned the task that you're training. We had special crews that were designated trainers. So we put them on that crew for 90 days and got their thumbs up or thumbs down through that training crew. And we paid that trainer extra money, $1, $2 an hour, or $2 an hour in today's world. $1 an hour 30 years ago is probably $2 an hour, right? So probably $2 an hour more while they're training someone. Recognize them and reward them for being a trainer. Once again, the culture, make sure they understand it, the culture, get all that dialed in, what they're expecting, that they dress code, the daily appearance, what we expect, the time that you expect to be there, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go to number 4, right? So let's do some training. So training is a great way to recruit people and retain people. If people feel that they're being an investment and people are investing in their training and development, that's a clear sign that they want to get better and create more value for that individual. So often people say, well, gee, if I train them, they're just going to go somewhere else. Well, think of the alternative if you don't train them, right? They're going to get probably injured or crash more vehicles and more equipment, right? Even though that they still do, even if they are trained. Everything changes, nothing that, one thing never changes is change, right? So methods need to change as well. Today's reality, we've got videos, I prefer hands-on, learn by doing. Cal Poly taught us that. You learn by doing. And so we like actually hands-on training myself rather than seeing all of it. Videos are great, affirmation, but you need to verify they learn what you're training them for. Know what the objective is for training and stick to it, all right? Know your skill level and the technology environment for each of the levels that you're training for. You don't want to train somebody, a climber, how to be a climber if they really don't have that skill and they're really built for something else. So know what skill level and technology you have available. Know your students. Every student, the learning style is a little different. All the above, audio, visual, kinesthetic, but I really do like the show me. You show them, they show you, you make adjustments, they show you and verify that they learned it. Just fundamental training. Harvester Fred, one of our colleagues, has a whole program, just recently did a whole 4-hour seminar on Train the Trainer. So if you're interested in that, check our website and you can dial in on how to train your trainers. So not everybody knows how to train. Some of your best performers are not trainers. So make sure you train your trainers. So we're going to go through pretty quick. Have continual learning as part of your culture, both in technical skills and managerial skills, especially in California and particularly in Southern California, irrigation and water management, even throughout California. That's a big one, right? We all know that. Know your chemicals, they're changing all the time. There's a lot of controversy on some of the chemicals right now. Make sure you're covered on all that and you're educating your employees and your customers. These are all the minimum technical skills that we'd like to see employed at your organization. Managerial skills, this is something we don't do a lot of teaching. And so, especially like in the area of time management, how many people have been a time management course and actually know how to manage their time really well? I'm still working on it myself. I don't know about you guys, but We do, we'll show you an offer at the end here on our account manager training program, and time management is part of that training process. But these are the soft skills that often landscapers forget to train on. So leadership, communication, team building, all those kind of good things. So don't forget those skills as well. Have measurables. You train. I made one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. I trained all my guys every Saturday, 2 hours overtime, train. But the quality didn't improve. So I didn't have a metric to measure it by. So measure the outcomes of training. You want them to work safely. You want them to work productivity. You want the productivity up, which translates to gross margin. You want consistent quality. So how do you measure those and have those on metrics on what we call a grow card, so you can measure their performance? You can have skills, behaviors, and results. So you have to have all three of those. Some of the training, there's training all over the place. NLAP has all sorts of training. CLCA does as well. When they go to a conference, the conferences will be coming back up, come back with a report. Don't just have them go there and come back and say, what'd you learn? Well, it was a really good conference. No, have them on a mission. You're going to go look for some software. You're going to go look for some training programs. Come back and give a report back to the organization. Have books assigned. The real more sophisticated companies we work with have a book club, and they read as a team. They have a book at least once a quarter. Some have once a month books that they're reading, and they're learning as they go through. There's a lot of online learning, like what you're doing right now today. I salute you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to do that. Webinars, seminars, conferences, take advantage of them. One of the things is for the Harvest Way Academy, for you gold members, I'm not sure, you probably hopefully know that you have free access to the Harvest Way Academy. That's the program we took us 5 years to build. And if you actually follow all those things, it's hard not to be successful. And then recently we released the Harvest Way Account Manager online training program. If you go to our website and take a look at that in our shop, it'll show you all the training tools that are involved with that. Great course. We've sold over 200 of them so far. Just released it. Okay, we're gonna have to start picking up the pace here, Janice. Janice tells me, man, Harvester Bill, leave a little time on the end here for some questions. So let's step on the gas. Hang on tight, guys. You ready?
You're fine. And actually, a lot of these tips apply to any industry. So I'm writing down a lot of good tips for our leadership team. So I'm enjoying your presentation, Bill, but you're fine on time.
Oh, great. You just took 30 seconds of mine, but that's okay. I'll just add that to the end.
You have credit.
So competitive pay and compensation. You've got to be competitive, folks. And so you need to know your fair market value and adjust accordingly. If you haven't adjusted, you probably need to adjust, I would say, at least once a year minimum. It used to be every 3 years, but establish pay ranges per position. And we like to have positions broken into 3 areas. So beginner, regular performer, and then the advanced or senior performance. So you can look at the NLAP study on that. It gives you some ideas on pay ranges. When you interview people, sometimes they fluff those, what they're being paid up a little bit. Friendly competitors are some of the ways you can find out. We have what we've established is what we believe the pay rates are for Southern California at least, and you can put a CPI index on that and adjust them according to you. So if you'd like a copy of that, just ask and ye shall receive. We'll send you out a pay rate range that we think is fairly up to date. So pretty good from all the people we're dealing with. Have a bonus program, links to company goals. For the more sophisticated companies and you move forward, you want maybe some phantom stock with a vesting period for some of your middle managers and upper management. And so that's on the pay. Be competitive, folks. Don't be cheap on this. I'd rather pay a little bit higher and expect higher. Don't just go on the cheap route. Okay. Career ladders. Okay. So on a career ladder, this is a really good tool to have for recruitment and for retention. It really is. This would be one of those categories on the consultancy. I highly recommend you establish a career ladder thinking, right? So break each position in 3 steps: beginner, established, and advanced. For example, maybe you have apprentice gardener, and senior gardener. Maybe you have a lead man, crew leader or foreman, and a senior crew leader or foreman. So break each position in 3 spots and have pay ranges for each of those. And they overlap probably 15% on the pay ranges. List the following for each rung on that ladder: the skills, the success behaviors, and the results expected for each of those positions. And establish those pay ranges and bonus levels for each of those levels. And, you know, once again, I don't know about you folks, I'm real graphic. I like to see pictures and I like to see that diagram. You know, I don't like to read a lot of words. You know, if I'm going to read a book, I want big font, you know, but I like seeing that. So I know it's a little fuzzy. It doesn't blow up real good. So this is the company we work with in Honolulu. I know y'all feel sorry for me having to go to Hawaii over 50 times in the last 6 years, but we decided that we we're going to show graphically. This is the they call their garters groundskeepers, and it shows graphically each level what the skills are. You know, you can see the tools and the different pieces of equipment and the things, the core values, mission, that kind of stuff. So that shows for groundskeeper. We have one for crew leader, and we have one for supervisor. So these are like 2 foot by 3 foot graphs that they have on their wall inside their crew, you know, where the people congregate in the morning, put their time cards in and stuff like that. They can visually see, where are you? Where am I? Where do I want to be when I, you know, stake around here? What do I need to do to move up the ladder? This is really effective for performance reviews. I think we have it. We call it, we want them to be inspired to aspire to be better than they are right now, and maybe even perspire a little bit along the way. What the heck, right? You could use the tool for coaching and mentoring. You can use it for a tool for recruiting and retention. Here are the slots we have. If and when you have these skills and behaviors and results, here's what you can look forward to on promotion and pay-wise and bonus-wise. 7, engage them, okay? Part of retention is engaging people. Get them involved and engaged in the planning process. You should be surveying them, getting input before you do your big plan, and you should have a plan in place by the way. We say no plan, no way. You need to have a written plan that people understand, they have buy-in on it, they're engaged in the process. We like usually doing these in October, November, most of your, you know, prior to your fiscal year starting, so you get a nice impetus and nice energy moving forward in a fiscal year. Get all your major tasks. You can't do all of them. You'll have a list of them, but you know, 2 or 3 major initiatives might get, maybe some secondary initiatives. Get task force involved, give them assign it, get them engaged. Conduct, if you're going to do surveys, we suggest you do a third-party one or with your HR department. Maybe even have an employee advisory board. Maybe your foreman team, you have a team of foremen come in and be your advisory. So get them engaged. Have the philosophy, this is your business. I'm just supplying you all the tools, resources to run your business. I'm here to help you be successful. I want you to have, as long as it's ethical, legal, moral, safe, fun, and profitable, knock your little socks off, right? So put the parameters around it and give them the freedom to run their business. Certainly they got to operate within the core values. So I don't know, anybody been micromanaged before? It's not a lot of fun. You know, it's better to have people make decisions on their own that are within the parameters of what the expectations are, rather than just being micromanaged. It's not fun to be micromanaged. Have open books with needed information. Have them set the budgets. And this is your primary, from foreman level, you could do budgeted hours. At the account manager level, it's actually gross margins. You know, what are the gross margins, percentages we want them to achieve? Give them not only responsibility, but the authority as well to implement and get things done. That's engaging. That's engaging. Don't let them get bored. Some people just leave your company because they're bored out of their mind. So for those other achievers, give them some new assignments or areas of responsibility. Maybe move them over to new territory, add a new territory. Maybe even give them a sabbatical. Go out for a week and go out and look at these 2 or 3 companies and come back and tell us what you learned. Do a road trip with some others. We've done road trips. We've arranged road trips to some of our other clients. It's been good, especially the ones that go to Hawaii. They love going to Hawaii, right? When we get to go back to Hawaii, won't that be nice? Engage them. We talked about the career ladder, promote within. Always try your first on your recruitment. Make sure you promote within first. If you keep on hiring from the top down, it gets a little frustrating for the team, right? Give them some stretch goals and assignments. Have them help build a best practice. Maybe it's the quality counts program. Maybe it's the new job startup system. Maybe it's jobs in jeopardy, job autopsy, whatever. Get them to feel the sense that they own their piece of the pie and they have a voice in the business. They're heard and they're listened to. Most importantly, that they're listened to. Just a little bit of repeat here. So engaged team members are loyal team members. Number 8, conflict resolution, and there will be conflict, right? When you have a bunch of people doing something, there's always something that'll probably pop up. It's part of life, it's part of business. Deal with it. Don't let it fester. If you let these things fester, it causes more angst than if you don't deal with it, right? Don't avoid it. Step right into it and get after it. Maybe you need a third-party person to help coach yourself through that, but get it dealt with. Listen, ask good questions. Sometimes don't jump to conclusions until you find out all the facts. Okay, get all the points of perspective and then get to the resolution. Work common around, get agreement on the resolution. They may not agree, but this is what we're going to work on right now. This is how we're going to go about solving it. And here's the reasons why we went to this reason. Okay, with this solving. Manage. If you do it constructively, it actually creates better, more positive energy. We'll have more loyal team members. Let's go to performance management. This is a big, important part of a successful business. And a lot of businesses, quite frankly, are not very good at this. And the company I worked with for 30 years wasn't very good at it either. That was one of the things I worked on in HR, was performance management and performance systems. And that took a lot of time because we didn't really do it very good for over 50 years. So we had some bad habits there and we had to fix that out. I like a grow card. I don't know if you ever heard of that. In the early, late 1990s, there was a whole scorecard phenomena, and I play it off that. We call it grow card. It's goal setting, reviewing your progress, opportunities for learn, and win. I use an acronym as GROW. So goal setting, review your progress, opportunities for learning, and winning. So we build a grow card. We have metrics for each position and each company. When we do consulting, we like to measure results of consulting. So we have key metrics for companies to be measured on. And then we can see right there what we're going to be working on. So we like to be measured as well as far as our consulting services. We talked about a 10-15 report. Be sure to ask for a sample of that. Be love to send it to you. People should, every single person, I've learned this over a long period of time, should be able to answer 6 questions. This includes you, each and every one of you that are listening to me right now. You need to be able to answer these 6 questions. What am I supposed to be doing around here? How well am I supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? How well am I doing compared to what the standard is? What do I need to do, learn, behave like for continued or improved success? What should I expect if I do all this stuff? And where do I go if I have failure? So each and every one of you and every one of your employees, your team members knows the answer to those 6 questions, you're a successful leader. So answer those 6 questions. And I'll have this, once again, I have it all printed out real nicely. If you want the 6 questions, just say, hey, 6 questions, send them over to me. I'll be happy to send them over to you. And I have a little more detail in each of these areas. Performance recognition, trips, gift cards, these are all examples of how to give recognition. Often just new trucks, you give the people that take good care of their trucks, give them the new truck, not the person that crashed the truck, right? Same with tools. New employee referrals, we talked about that's the #1 source for good recruiting. Give a healthy, we talked about this yesterday, we did a little huddle yesterday, Harvester Huddle on tips, tactics, and techniques for recruiting. And some people are paying $50, $100. No, folks, that's not enough. We do the 1, 2, 3, 100, 200, 300 for the lower positions. So that's 100 at 90 days, 200 at 6 months, and $300 for the referral at the end of the year. So make sure they're healthy enough and that people are motivated enough to go out and help you recruit other people. So these are all examples of performance recognition. But see, people, they might leave for more money, but they're going to leave more often for recognition. They're not recognized. Finally, we are at the grand finale here, leadership. I love this saying by Mark Sanborn. People hear your words, but they believe your behavior. Mark Sanborn, Fred Factor, good author. We've met him at a talk, National Speaker Association. Here's my buddy, Mark Sanborn, myself, yours truly, and my co-founder, partner, Harvester Ed. meeting with Mark Sanborn, a fabulous fellow, great guy. And we talk about treat people with respect, like you want to be treated. Doesn't it sound like the golden rule or something like that, right? We talked about integrity, humility, and generosity. And be present. You don't have to yak it up, but just by your presence shows where your time is important. Say thank you often and mean it. Know and use their names when you're speaking with someone. They love to hear their name. I know I do. Hey, Harvester Bill, how you doing, right? Appreciate them and show them. Be specific. And when you appreciate somebody, hopefully you do it in front of some other people as well, right? Look, listen, and learn from your people. Look, listen, and learn. I like those. Be on time. Often I see leaders, they're not on time. There's somebody that's we actually had to have Janice was so influential. She had President Biden give his conference at a different time. He was scheduled to have the same time we're going to do this. So Janice, thank you for doing that, for helping us out there. So even
my pleasure. Whatever we can do for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and he was 5 or 7 minutes late, right? Don't be late. Be on time. That's an example as a leader. One of the very things that drive me nuts when leaders are not on time. That's not being respectful. Or they're talking on their phone. Oh yeah, I'll be right with you. My phone's more important than you, but show some respect. Be on time. Catch them doing good. Not always bad. It's unfortunately, but sometimes we do. Catch them doing good. Have formal coaching and mentoring systems in place. Meet the town halls. Do a lot of one-on-one in quiet areas so you're not interrupted by phones, emails, texts, all those kind of things. Breaking bread together and having the commune together is very important when you're dealing with people. We felt that was very effective, and I'm telling you it is. Just have a breakfast with somebody or have a cup of coffee. And don't you be caught whining and micromanaging, okay? No whining out loud, okay? Knock it off. So here's the overview, okay? We did some of the best practices we shared with you. This was pretty fast best practices, Janice. We had to step on the gas here. These are all, I believe, that you need to know and practice to retain your best people, to build a loyalty program. So my question I'd ask you, did you affirm some areas today? Hopefully, raise a hand. Yeah, you bet. Do you have some new ideas you're going to try to do? I certainly hope so. And then set your goals on what your retention will be. So I'd rate yourself. We have the 10 areas here. If you took a quick quiz, I would go 1 to 5 just to see how I'm doing in these areas. And then maybe you could pick out one of the 10 areas here to focus in on. I wouldn't try to tackle more than 2 or 3 at a time. Thoughts, questions, or comments at this time? I'd be happy to entertain any.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, go ahead and unmute your phone and Bill will be happy to answer any questions.
I numbed them. I went too fast.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody is unmuting their phone. If not, then what we'll do is I'm going to announce the raffle winners before we have people tune out. It looks like we have Jamie Walton, Danny Gomez, and Mickey Strauss will be receiving a $50 Amazon gift card. So congratulations and thank you so much for attending our webinar. We hope that you guys had everything beneficial. Sorry.
I have a couple more things I want to share.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So look we believe that if you practice these 10 practices, you're going to have a great retention program. We have recently conducted a recruiting seminar, and you can find it in our shop. And for you gold members, if you sign up for it, if you just apply, let me know, or Janice know you want that. You want the $100 discount. So $395 price. We'll knock off $100 if you request this by tomorrow. Okay. It's a 4-hour seminar. What you just heard right now is part 1 of 10 parts. Okay. To visit the Harvest Way Academy, it's free, folks. This is an offer that gold members, they all have. Please use it. There's a ton of information in there. Also, if you want to learn more about the Harvest Group, we have a book, and it's basically our business card. Shares with you all the things that we do, all the services we offer, and just a cornucopia full of ideas how to make your company better. And then we have a Harvest Alert. You probably got a notice this morning, 50 Shades of Green. We're giving a seminar on April 8th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's 50 ways. It's actually 67 ways. We couldn't get it down to 50 on how to make more money. I don't care how small or how big you are. I was working with a $20 million company this week. We found several ways they're going to make 3 to 5% more on their net profit. So once again, if you sign up, if you're interested in this, it's $3.95 for everybody out there. If you let us know you want to sign up, I have to set up a code for you guys to sign up. We'll knock off $100 off that registration fee, but you got to do it by tomorrow, Friday. Okay.
And Bill, what is your email address that they can reach you at?
Well, let's see here. Right
There you go.
So thank you. Now go out there and harvest your potential by building loyalty programs for your team members. This is Head Harvester Bill Arm from the West Coast. Thank you for allowing me to be here, LCIS, and thank you for your continued support, all of you.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much, Bill. And I know a lot of our clients, when they take the time to deal with your organization, they get a lot of benefit out of it. And I haven't heard anything but good stuff coming from our clients that works with the Harvest Group. So thank you for servicing the landscape community.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for attending, and we'll email the winners with their gift cards. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great rest of the day.
Cheers, everyone.